Welcome to you. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. President Tinubu seeks Senate confirmation of Amupitan as Inec chairman. Enugu Governor Peter Mbadam's PDP for APC. Plus, Trump to oversee Cambodia-Thai peace deal at Asian Summit. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in a moment. Good afternoon. Many thanks for joining us on the news at this hour. We begin the news this afternoon. Joash Amupitan as the new chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Inec. The request was read on the floor of the Senate by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, during plenary today. Akpabio also read other communications from the President regarding appointments that require legislative approval. According to the letter, the nomination is in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution, which mandates Senate confirmation for such appointments. The request has been referred to the Committee of the Whole for further legislative consideration. Recall that last Thursday, the President presented third nominee to fill the leadership vacancy at the Electoral Commission. Away from that, the chairman of the Federal Civil Service Commission, Professor Tunji Olaokpa, has called for a holistic review of the disciplinary control system in the civil service. He said such reform is necessary to drive culture change, value reorientation, and address the persistent delays in handling disciplinary matters within the system. A statement released today by the Commission's head of press and public relations, Taiwo Hazen, said Olaokpa spoke at a one-day joint retreat between the Commission and the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation. The FCSC boss also emphasized the importance of rethinking the link between merit, competency-based human resource practices, performance management, and the wage structure, noting that such integration was crucial to restoring the federal government's image as an employer of choice. From the Green Chambers, now where the House of Representatives has announced plans to wade into the ongoing disputes between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities in a bid to end the two-week warning strike declared by the union on Monday. This followed a motion moved today by a lawmaker representing Badagry Federal Constituency under the All Progressives Congress, Sesi Winga. Wingan said the intervention of the Green Chamber's leadership is aimed at finding a permanent resolution to the lingering industrial crisis that has crippled Nigeria's public university system for years. Recall that ASU had on Monday commenced a 2-week nationwide warning strike after the expiration of a 14-day ultimatum issued to the federal government to meet its long-standing demands, the union's first nationwide strike in nearly 3 years. Talking judicial matters, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja today declined to admit in evidence a set of exhibits the federal government sought to tender against a former National Security Advisor, NSA, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, retired. Dasuki, who served as the NSA under former President Goodluck Jonathan, is answering to an amended 7-count charge bordering on money laundering and his alleged possession of illegal firearms. The court, in a ruling that was delivered by Justice Peter Lifu, refused the evidence on the premise that the exhibits were rejected when they were previously tendered. According to Justice Lifu, since they will be readmitted in the trial, as doing so would amount to judicial rascality. Moreover, he held that federal government, by its request, sought to force a trial court to sit an appeal over its own ruling. We move now to politics. Enugu State Governor Peter Mba has officially dumped the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the All Progressives Congress (APC). He made the declaration during a statewide broadcast to the people of the state. The governor defended his decision to switch camp, saying the move was necessitated to connect the southeastern states to the central government. The governor thanked the PDP for the support through the years, stressing that the shift is imperative to achieve his administration's goals. According to Mba, his decision to join the APC is to better serve the people of Enugu and align with the party's vision for development and progress. The governor also reiterated his commitment to advancing the state's interest and expressed confidence that the APC platform would provide greater opportunities for collaboration and growth. Back here, in its drive to improve the standard and quality of teachers' education in line with the human capital development of the ARISE agenda, Akwa Ibom State Government has approved the upgrading of the College of Education Afaransa to Akwa Ibom State University of Education and approved same for regularization. The State Commissioner for Information, Ania Kanumana, announced this when he briefed Government House correspondents at the end of the State Executive Council meeting held at the Executive Council Chamber, Governor's Office, Uyo. According to him, in a bid to realign and update ministerial responsibilities as well as resolve areas of overlap, the governor also approved the composition of a special committee to implement the exercise. The committee has the Secretary to the State Government as chairman, with the head of the Civil Service, Executive Assistant, Attorney General, Solicitor General, and Managing Director of AKICOP as members, noting that the committee has 6 weeks to submit its report. He noted that following the review of the report of the Inter-Ministerial Committee on the implementation of the state of emergency in the health sector, the Council considered and approved project and programs' timeliness, especially the recruitment of doctors and medical professionals, increase in special peculiar allowances for medical personnel, skipping policy for the health sector, evaluation and completion of BOQs for Phase 1 of the rehabilitation of selected hospitals and primary healthcare facilities within 2 weeks to enable health infrastructure interventions to commence by November 1 and the commissioning of General Hospital Okanafon on the 10th of November 2025.
His Excellency the Governor in Council, Pastor Moeno PhD, welcomed members and charged all to remain steadfast and loyal to the ideals of the administration. The Governor urged members of the Executive Council to remain committed to service delivery in collaboration and work in collaboration for the full realization of the ARISE agenda for the overall development of the state within set timelines. Some of the resolutions reached at today's meeting are as follows. 1. In a bid to realign and update ministerial responsibilities as well as resolve areas of overlap, the Governor-in-Council approved the composition of a special committee to implement the realignment and update exercise. In its drive to improve the standard and quality of teachers' education in line with the human capital development aspect of the ARISE agenda, the Executive Council received and adopted the memo presented by the Ministry of Health for the upgrading of the College of Education reference to Akwa Ibom State University of Education and approved same for regularization without recourse to ESCO. The Executive Council considered several reports and memos and ratified several finance and general purposes committee memo on various ongoing projects in the state to ensure their speedy completion.
In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has paid a condolence visit to the family of the late Reverend Dr. Umar, renowned evangelist and founder of the Umar Evangelistic Association. Speaking during the visit at the family residence in Uyo, Governor described the late cleric as an icon and a rare gem whose passing is a great loss not only to Akwa Ibom State but to Nigeria and the global Christian community. The governor said the visit was to reassure the bereaved family that the government and people of Akwa Ibom State stand with them at this difficult time and will collaborate with the family to ensure a befitting rite of passage for the Reverend Man of God. Addressing Pastor Philomena Umar, the governor prayed that God would comfort her, the children, and all spiritual sons and daughters of the deceased. Responding on behalf of the family, Pastor Philomena expressed gratitude to the governor and members of the State Executive Council for the visit and words of encouragement. The governor concluded the visit with prayers, thanking God for the impactful life and ministry of the late Reverend Dr. Umar and asked for divine comfort and strength for the family. Moving now to Africa, where the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Rwanda-backed M23 group signed an agreement today in Doha to establish a ceasefire monitoring mechanism. The deal follows a ceasefire agreement that both parties inked in Doha in July, aimed at leading to a permanent end to the fighting that has devastated the DRC's mineral-rich east. Reports say Qatar, the United States, and the African Union will participate in this mechanism as observers. Qatar described the move as a pivotal step toward enhancing confidence building and moving forward toward a comprehensive peace agreement. We move now to the foreign scene. United States President Donald Trump will oversee a formal peace deal between Cambodia and Thailand on the sidelines of an Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN Summit. According to Malaysian Foreign Minister Mohammed Hassan, Trump will visit the Malaysian capital of Kuala Lumpur on October 26 to witness the agreement. The 47th ASEAN Summit is due to take place in Kuala Lumpur from October 26 to 28, bringing together heads of state from 10 Southeast Asian nations and other dialogue partners. Still on the foreign scene, Hamas security forces were tightening their grip on Gaza's Urin cities today, even as global support mounted for a U.S.-backed deal that would see them disarmed. When busloads of prisoners freed from Israeli jails arrived in Gaza on Monday, fighters from Hamas' Ezzedin al-Qassam brigades provided crowd control. In the north of the territory, as Israeli forces withdrew from Gaza City, the Hamas government's black-masked armed police resumed street patrols. Meanwhile, a Hamas security unit has been conducting operations against armed clans and gangs, some alleged to have Israeli backing. Still to come in the news. Super Eagles captain Trustekong makes strong demands from Nigerians. Stay tuned for details of these and more in a moment. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, as a way of giving back to oil-producing communities, the federal government said it has embarked on a total of 536 community projects across the Niger Delta. In a statement, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC, noted that the projects are being held simultaneously in the region. According to the Commission, the Host Community Development Trust, HCDT, has risen to 373 billion naira as of October 13, 2023, in accordance with Section 235 of the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021, which mandates all companies to incorporate HCDT for the benefit of host communities where they operate. A statement signed by the Commission's Head of Media and Strategic Communications, Eniola Akinkotu, also said the fund comprises 125 billion naira and $168.9 million contributed by all companies operating under the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. The HCDT requires all companies to deposit 3% of their operating expenditures of the preceding financial year into a trust fund, which will be housed in a bank with a Better Business Bureau BBB rating. Still in business, the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has called on governments worldwide to build stronger institutions and ensure the independence of their central banks. At the IMF annual meetings in Washington, D.C., IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva spoke at the Civil Society Town Hall program, part of the pre-opening events at the ongoing World Bank and IMF annual meetings. The IMF chief also played down the impact of U.S. tariffs on many world economies, saying the effect of the tariffs has decreased compared with the position at the April 2025 meetings. She added that the private sector is currently much stronger than it was in April, signaling improvement in global economic performance. We move now to health news, where pharmacists have blamed poor coordination between key government agencies tasked with securing the nation's pharmaceutical supply chain as a major reason behind the persistent circulation of fake and substandard medicines in the country. The stakeholders called on the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, Customs, Foreign Affairs and law enforcement agencies to collaborate more tightly to tackle the high rate of fake drugs. The experts urged the governments to step up regulation, integrate broader pharmacists' responsibilities and clamp down, firstly, on counterfeit medications. The drug specialists called for urgent reforms, including the implementation of track and trace technologies, stronger penalties for offenders, and robust collaboration across agencies. In the world of sports, Super Eagles captain William Troost-Ekong has urged Nigerians to appreciate and support Eric Shell's men as they prepare to face the Benin Republic in today's 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier in Uyo. According to Troost-Ekong, everyone needs to share responsibilities because Nigeria's clash with the Benin Republic is not a game that the coach or Super Eagles players can win for Nigeria alone. The former Watford defender also urged his teammates to step up against the Benin Republic. While still in sports, Chelsea have announced the signing of Nigerian central defender Justin Osagie. The defender joined the Blues on undisclosed fees after a successful trial at Stamford Bridge. Osagie, 20, moved to Chelsea following the expiration of his contract with Peterborough United. During his trial at Stamford Bridge, the central defender was said to have impressed Chelsea's academy coaches and earned himself a permanent deal. And finally, on our entertainment news, President Tinubu's aide, Ortega Ogra, has threatened legal action against popular Nigerian musician Timi Dakolo for calling him out on social media. Reports say singer Timi Dakolo had, in a post on X, called out Ortega Ogra and accused him of not speaking his calls. Reacting to Dakolo, Ortega in a post on X vowed to correct the singer through legal action if he made further posts about him. While describing his issue with Dakolo as an institutional matter, Ortega accused the singer of personalizing it. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Good afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your day.